All right, the next topic, G9, volume, page 27 in your packet. This is page 27. We know formulas for volume, right? We have Tom's rain barrel is filled halfway with water. How much water is in the barrel in terms of pi? This phrase right here just means instead of using 3.14, just put the symbol pi next to it. Don't actually multiply by that number. So I'll show you what I mean as we go here. What is the volume of a cylinder? You should know that. Volume equals pi r squared times h. It's the base, the area of the base, pi r squared, times the height. Okay, base times height. So volume equals, well, pi, again, it wants us to do it in terms of pi, which means we're going to leave it as pi. We're not going to put in 3.14. R we know, well, do we know it, actually? We know the whole spot is 4. The whole length is 4. So we want just half of the circle. So 4 divided by 2 is 2, and that's the radius. Okay, this is the diameter. So the radius is 2. So let's circle that so we know that's our radius. So we have 2 here squared times the height, which is 5. So if we do this out, again, leaving pi as the symbol, pi times, well, this is 4 times 5, and 4 times 5 is 20. So pi times 20, or usually we write the number first, which would just be 20 pi. Same thing. And we have, of course, feet cubed. All right. This one, we're not writing in terms of pi, we're using 3.14. So we have Toby. He needs to fill his basketball with air. How much air will it hold if the ball has a radius of 6 inches? Okay. Air inside a sphere is volume. And we know, of course, a basketball is spherical shaped, right? 3-dimensional circle. So if we have a sphere and we want the volume, we know the volume formula of a sphere is 4/3 pi r cubed. Remember, when it's a sphere, because there's no height, you have r cubed. All right, this is the radius. I'll do that in a different color so you can see it better. The radius is 6, and that's all you need. We know the radius is 6, and we're going to use 3.14 for pi. That's all you need. So 4/3 times 3.14 times 6/3 to the 3rd power is 6 times 6 times 6, which is 216. And when I put that all in my calculator, remember it's 4 divided by 3 times 3.14 times 216. I get 904.32. Does it say to round? Did I round? I don't remember now. Let's see. Okay, so no, I didn't round it all, so that would be the answer unless they tell you to round, and this would be inches cubed. All right, number 3. Susie has an ice cream cone that is 6 inches high and 2 inches wide. She wants to fill it with soft serve yogurt level to the top of the cone. So I had a picture of an ice cream cone, but that's actually not what it's going to look like, right? Because she's actually only going to put yogurt. So let's move this out of the way. She's only going to put yogurt level to the top of the cone, which is kind of silly, but that's how it works for our volume formula. So here's our cone, and she's only filling her yogurt. Let's see, what color yogurt do we want to have? Do we want some pink yogurt? That sounds good to me. Here's our yogurt. It's only going up to the top of that cone, right? All right, well, you get the point, right? Everything in that cone. So what do we have? Volume of a cone is almost the same as a sphere. A cylinder, it's just 1/3. It's 1/3 that of a cylinder. Pi r squared h. So the volume is going to be 1/3. This time it wants answer in terms of pi, so we're going to keep the pi in there. The r, let's see, 2 inches wide, 6 inches high. So we have the height is 6, and I believe they're talking about the 2 inches wide would be the whole thing, right? 2 inches wide. So we want the radius. So the diameter is 2, which would mean the radius is half of that, which is 1. So I'm going to plug in 1 here. So 1 for the radius squared times the height, which is 6. So we have 1/3 times pi times 1 times 6. So we're multiplying the 3 numbers together. 1/3 times 1 times 6. 1/3 times 1 times 6 is 2. 1/3 of 6 is 2. So this is just 2 pi. 2 pi. And we have units, inches. Okay. When it's in terms of pi, you leave the pi symbol there. All right, Dan. Dan needs his spherical balloon to have a circumference to 16 pi inches. How much helium would he use? Ooh. All right, circumference. Well, a spherical balloon looks something like that. So it's a sphere here, right? 3-dimensional circle. All right. And what about circumference? Do you know what the formula for circumference of a circle is? Circumference. Circumference is, just to be clear here, I think he's talking about circumference being of a circle, because that's what we usually talk about when we talk about circumference, versus the outside part of the sphere would be the surface area. I don't think they want the surface area. I'm just going to go with the circumference, okay? Trying to not read into this too much because we didn't really do surface area, so let's just go by circumference. The circumference of a circle is 2 pi r. So if we want their circumference, the c, to equal this, well, let's plug that in for c. We want c to be this, and that c equals 2 pi r. Well, what can we kind of cancel out here? Well, if I all right, well, I can divide both sides by pi. Trying to figure out what r is so I can figure out the volume. That's all I need for the volume is the r. So what happens here? Well, the pi's cancel here and here, leaving me with 16 equals 2r. Well, now I can solve for r. I can divide by 2. Okay? Once you have r, now I can find the volume. The volume formula for a sphere is 4/3 pi r cubed. So now we're going to use 3.14, and R is 8. And then we're going to multiply in our calculator 4/3 times 3.14 times 8 cubed, which is 512. And go ahead and multiply that in your calculator. And I rounded to the nearest tenth place, even though it didn't tell me to, just because it kept going. So I'm just stopping here at 2143.6 inches cubed.